All right, guys, at the end of class on either Thursday or Friday, depending on which day, if you're a Gator or Wildcat, we created a snowman game where we had a purple snowman with a purple flake, a green snowman with a green snowflake, and each one of them should have had a when green flag click go to. And the purple guy for this particular game, yours might be green, has W to move up and S to move down. The green man has the up arrow key to go up and the down arrow key to go down because we're doing a two-player game. So before you start, make sure that each of your characters has a starting location and a way to move up and down on all four of the sprites. My stage background only has the Arctic right now because they're having a snowball fight in the snow. Next thing we're going to do is tell our snowmen how to actually throw items. Okay, so now that we have our motion on all of them, we're going to go to our purple snowflake and we're going to tell it how to move across and hit the green snowman. So I'm going to pull out a green flag click forever if. And then I'm going to go to sensing. And for me, since my purple snowman uses the W and S to move up and down, the keys that make the most sense for me is probably going to be the Q button because it's right next to my up. So I'm going to choose Q. Now on my purple snowflake, when I hit that Q button now, I'm going to go to motion and I want that snowflake to glide across the screen. I really want it to glide to the green snowman and hit him because it's the green guy's job to dodge. So I'm going to glide 1 second to, and I want it to glide to G man. So I'm going to hit save now. And then I'm going to hit my green flag, hit my Q button, and I watch my snowflake go, and it's behind the snowman, but it's still there. Now that it's hit him, I want it to wait just a tiny fraction of a second. So I'm going to go 0.1 seconds on the wait. And then I want it not to glide back to my purple snowman. I want it to go to him because I want it to look like it just magically appeared back on him again. So I'm going to try that again. Save now, green flag, hit my Q. It glides, it hits him, and then all of a sudden it's back on me again. If this bothers you, that the snowflake is at the dead center of the snowman rather than outside on his hand, the way that you fix that is on your purple snowman and costumes. If you select the whole thing, remember we talked about this in some of the classes where you got that little bullseye. If we move the bullseye so it's closer to his hand instead, now when we hit the green flag, it goes back to his hand. All right, so with my purple snowflake, I've got it now so that if Q is pressed, it slides to the green snowman. It waits 1/10 of a second, and then it goes back to the purple snowman because it's his flake. Just like we did for the motion code, we're going to drag and drop this onto the green flake. And then I can go to my green flake and I can decide what buttons I want to push instead of Q. So this guy uses the up and down arrows, so the left side of the keyboard. And it's kind of your call on this one, on which one makes sense for you to use. Since there's not really much close to that, and I don't have my iPad with me, I'm coding this on my laptop. Even though it's kind of counterintuitive, I think I'm going to use my left arrow. So that if I press the left arrow, then it's going to glide 1 second, not to the green man, but this time I want to hit purple. I'm going to wait 1/10 of a second, and then I want that to go back to my green snowman. Save now, test my code. I hit my left arrow, the green snowflake hits him, and then comes back, and it's underneath him. So just like I did before, I'm going to adjust my green snowman so that that target's more on his arm. Save it and test it one more time. Wonderful. My green snowflake is back on my green snowman. Now that's fine. Everything works right now. There's some of you guys, we haven't created our variables yet, and we need to do that. So if you've already created variables, you can skip this part. I'm just going to put mine on my stage for now so it doesn't get too crowded. Does not matter if yours goes somewhere else. I'm going to say when green flag clicked, I want variables. So I'm going to make two variables. The first variable I'm going to make is the purple score. It is available to all sprites. And I need to show my purple score when my green flag is clicked, and I need to set purple score to 0. Then I need to make another variable. This one's called green score. And he is also going to show and set to 0 when the game starts. I don't like that they're both stacked right here. So purple score is going to stay above him. Green score is going to go above the green guy. Save it again. And now I need to talk about what happens to actually score a point. So I'm going to go to my purple flake. I'm going to kind of move this stuff out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to grab another when green flag click, forever if. And I'm going to say if that purple flake touches, which is sensing, so touches the green man, then I want to wait a tiny little bit of a second, kind of like we had to do with bowling, so we don't score a whole bunch of points at once. So I'm going to wait a quarter of a second, and then I'm going to change purple score by 1 because it means my purple guy hit his target. So I'm going to save it, hit my green flag, touch my Q. My purple man got a point for touching the green snowman, and my snowflake still returned. And it's still moving along with my guy. I can duplicate this code onto the green flake. And now on green, if it touches the purple snowman, I want it to score a green point. Test my code. Q and left. Both of them score a point. Both of their snowflakes go back to start. If I move one, and it looks like I can avoid. So with my snowman, I'm going to throw my purple snowflake and hit my down arrow. And I can see that my purple score is not going up if I don't hit, which is what I want. So I'm going to hit save now. So right now I have a working game. However, I don't have a way to win yet. So what I need to do is tell the game that forever if my score equals, if purple score equals 3, I want to have a purple win screen. If my green score equals 3, I want to have a green win screen. To do that, I need some more backgrounds. So I'm going to go to stage. I'm going to choose a backdrop. I don't know, it doesn't look like I can type in a color to make that particular one win. So instead of choosing a backdrop this time, I'm going to paint my own backdrop. So I go to paint, and I can see here it made a new one. It's called backdrop 2. I don't want that. It's going to be called purple. So on this one, now I can choose what to put on here. I can grab a paint bucket and just put a square on the screen, and the whole square is purple. So I can see here that purple's definitely winning. I grab a text box and I can type purple wins, and you can't see it right now because I typed in purple. So before you start typing, maybe change your color so that you can actually see what it says. I'm going to make it bigger. I didn't even see that I fat fingered that key, so I'm going to take that out. And then I'm going to make a second backdrop, paint it myself, rename it to Greenwin or Green. I'm going to draw a box on that one. Grab a text, change the color. Say green wins. Make that text a little bigger. Wonderful. I've got my two win screens. I created them myself. So now I can go back to where I was actually writing the code. And now I can say that when green flag clicks, and I'm just going to put it on the stage because it doesn't apply to any particular sprite, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to say that when green flag is clicked, forever if, and then I'm going to go grab that operator equals block like we've used before. And I'm going to say forever if my green score equals 3, then under looks, switch backdrop to green because that's the windscreen. If purple score equals 3, then switch backdrop to purple. Okay, save now, test the code. Well, I already see an issue. I hit the green flag and I didn't go back to the Arctic. So I'm going to put that on here, still under the green flag. I'm going to do it where I set my variables. I'm going to tell it to be the Arctic. So I'm going to hit my green flag again. There we go. I'm not trying to really play the game. I'm just seeing if my code works to score. So I hit Q 3 times. I hit him. It goes to purple score. So I know that the purple background works. Hit the green flag, hit my arrow 3 times. My green score got 3. It showed me that green wins. Everything works perfectly there. Wonderful. All right, now you get to decide what to do from here. We would like you to modify this in a way that makes it so that if I switch to the purple backdrop, maybe the green guy hides. Maybe he switches costume and you draw him into a puddle. So if I go to the green snowman, I can go to costumes, and he doesn't have another one here, but I can create a costume. I can paint, just like I did for the colors of the backdrops. And maybe I find a color I like, and I'm going to use a paintbrush and maybe I make a little puddle so that now so when green flag is clicked, he can be in his costume 1, but maybe if backdrop switches to purple, because that means purple 1, maybe then he will switch costumes to costume 2. Sorry, costume 1 is my second one. Snowman is my regular. I hit the green flag. He's green right now. I hit my Q 3 times. The backdrop switches, and now he's a puddle because he lost. Maybe you don't want him to be a puddle. Maybe instead of switching costumes, you can put something in here so that when the snowman gets hit, maybe he gets a little bigger because he's absorbing somebody else's snow. So he's getting bigger, which makes it harder for him to avoid contact. I don't care what you guys decide to do as long as you modify it in some way. The assignment for today is to take a screenshot of the code that you're using to modify your game that's different from mine. So maybe it's something like this where you switch costumes. Maybe it's going to be something like if Q gets pressed, or if it touches G-Man, then maybe I'm going to tell G-Man to increase his size. Completely your call. Take a screenshot of that code, turn it into Canvas for today.